Welcome back to the Central Sports Podcast. We're kind of all in a bunch of different places right now. I don't know where Ted is, but we decided to get on Zoom.
Somewhere.
We decided to get on Zoom and make an episode talking about the Sweet 16 specifically, as well as the past rounds that had just wrapped up over the weekend. But first of all, guys, what do you think was the game of the tournament so far? If I have to say, I'm going Santa Clara, Kentucky. Double game winner kind of thing.
Man, that shot. Ooh.
That's crazy. I
Did
mean,
you guys have to agree or
I'll go
what?
next.
yeah, I'll go next. Sure.
I'm gonna have to go Iowa versus Florida. I mean, I know there might be some bias, as like we are from Iowa, but that game is just so fun. And like I was like looking at it in the car and we're driving. It was so hyped. And my dad.
Mhm.
I was gonna have to go the St. John Kansas game. Kansas coming all the way back, and they're just fouling them to like run down the clock, and then they just give up a layup. I mean, obviously, I wish it was like a better last second shot, but it is a pretty good game. So I have to go with the St. John Kansas game.
I was gonna say that too. I was watching it at work yesterday, and seeing that layup at the end of the game was interesting, especially since he hadn't scored a single point all game.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a tougher layup than I think a lot of people are giving him credit for, but really, I think Darren Peterson, if he came in on that help defense, could easily been overtime.
Hey, he's lazy though.
Yeah,
Lazy player.
that last shot being a layup was maybe the last thing I expected, but it totally made sense for the scenario. Why chuck up a three if you don't have to? Go and do a layup. Easiest
I
shot
just
available.
wonder, like from a Kansas coaching staff point of view, why is like the lane so open? He beat one guy and had a relatively open layup.
I think they just didn't want to risk fouling in that situation anyways
Yeah.
to like have anything happen, but I don't know.
And moving on to the Sweet 16, the first game I want to talk about is Iowa-Nebraska. Unless you guys want to go a different route first and
No,
save
I'm
that
good
for
with that.
This
later.
is gonna be a
Start off,
dogfight. Honestly, I'm so excited to watch it.
I think Iowa could do it. Honestly,
I
like this
think
is the
Nebraska's
best possible
gonna do it.
scenario for them.
I think it's a good scenario for Iowa, but Nebraska is going to do it again.
I think it's
Brent's just an Iowa hater.
I
I was coming on top.
I think it's a good scenario for both teams. Like if I'm a Nebraska fan, I'm like, hey, we got a chance to go to the Elite Eight. If I'm an Iowa fan, which I am, I'm like, hey, we got a chance to go to the Elite Eight. I think both teams are. This is the best scenario for both teams, in my opinion.
I love
this
how we're
is-
getting rivalry games in March Madness, though.
I know.
Yeah. Here's
Also-
the thing with this.
Uh-huh.
Like I love a good underdog game. When I thought my bracket, I picked a lot of underdogs. A lot of those have not panned out. Texas has panned out. I gambled on Texas. They're doing well.
Did you
I
have them
want
going all
Iowa
the
to win.
way?
I love an underdog story.
Yeah.
Did you have them going to the Sweet 16, Ted?
I did.
Dang, that's a good pick.
All right, that's wise. I did take the VCU one, and think I did say it on the pod. So
Yeah.
I took Miami, Ohio, and UNI. So
Miami, Ohio, I called that downfall.
What's the next game you guys want to get into? Unless you guys want to touch more on Iowa and Nebraska.
I don't know. I think let's.
Do
do we
stay
think
biased here.
Iowa could they, if they beat Nebraska, could they make a run? Could they get to Final Four? Do you guys think?
No, I don't think so.
You know
I
what?
mean, it's
It's-
just one. It's two more games really to get all the way. They're red hot right now.
Who would
Yeah,
they
but
play?
I would also
they
they would
play if
play
they were to win?
Houston. They would play Houston probably.
I like that
Which-
matchup. I think Houston.
I think Houston's losing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm
I
not
think.
confident.
Oh wait, no. If Iowa plays Illinois, do you think that would be a better scenario for them or a worse scenario?
That's worse.
I
That's
would-
worse in my mind.
No, I would say that's a better scenario. I
Because
think
I have Illinois winning
I-
against Houston.
I had Houston,
Yeah.
but I would say if you're an Iowa fan, I would rather have Illinois over Houston.
I have Illinois in my final, so I think I'm really like crossed by this because I did not have Iowa getting this far. So it's like wrecking my bracket a little bit because I had Florida going like either Final Four or Elite Eight, so it's a little disappointing. But
If we want to move on to the same bracket pool, Houston, Illinois, as we were just touching on, I think Illinois can get this win.
Give me Illinois.
So too.
They're
I think
performing
it's going to be
at
one of the best teams
highest-
of the tournament.
They're performing at one of the highest offensive levels that we've seen pretty much ever, at least in my lifetime. They have such a well-rounded roster that I don't really think I've seen with a lot of different teams. And for Houston, they definitely have Kingston Flemings, as well as Sharp.
Mhm.
Forgive me,
And
I don't know his
Uzan.
first name. Or I forgot his first
Emmanuel.
name.
I
Emmanuel
think
Sharp. They have those two dudes, two, just heavy scoring options. I think it's going to be one of the highest scoring games of the tournament. I have Illinois winning it. But I don't know
I
about
think
you
it's going to
guys.
be one of the best games of the tournament for
I
sure. I
think that
think
the battle
Purdue's
between Keaton Wagler and Kingston Flemings is going to be electric. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to watch that. I mean, the top talent is good, and both teams have depth. I mean, yeah, this feels like a Final Four matchup, really.
We have two, probably in my opinion, both Keaton Wagler as well as I just forgot his name. Holy cow!
Kingston Flemings.
As well as Kingston Flemings. I think those are both, two top five NBA prospects, and this is going to really,
Mhm.
alter their draft stock depending on the outcome of the game and how much they score, contribute to winning.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think about is it going to play out between Arkansas and Arizona? I think this is going to be a really good game.
I think Arizona is going to come out on top.
Arizona,
I'm
yeah.
excited to see what Darius Acuff will do.
I
Listen,
think
if
Darius Acuff is like one of the best players in the tournament right now and has been absolutely like balling out. But
I
I
mean, he's
still
been one of the
gotta
best
go
players all
Arizona
year.
with the depth. Hmm.
if Arizona somehow loses this game, which I think it's totally possible, it'll all be because of Darius Acuff Jr. and what he does for the Razorbacks. He is the heart and soul of this team, and I think it's kind of a team that reminds me of Iowa Hawkeyes as well as Bennett Sturts. They have that one top talent guy on their team who's kind of leading the roster. A couple good talents on the surrounding area, but easily he is the best player on this team, and it's not close. I would almost argue that Darius Acuff Jr. is the best player in the SEC right now, also.
I would say that's not
Bit of
right.
a bit of a reach, I think.
Eh, I mean,
Move on to
top 49 as a freshman.
yeah,
Ted,
but
you're glitching out a little
I
bit
mean,
there.
overall,
I couldn't hear Ted.
He's glitching, man.
Well, so we've
keep
done
going.
Houston,
Go on.
Illinois, Nebraska, Iowa,
I think
Arizona,
we got
Arkansas.
to
You guys
talk
want to move
about
on to
Iowa State
Purdue?
versus Tennessee.
Let's do
I have
Purdue, Texas
Tennessee.
first. Let's do
Okay.
Purdue, Texas
Iowa
first, just because it's
State.
in the bracket.
Purdue,
Iowa
Texas.
State.
Texas is red hot. It's kind of hard to,
Mhm.
go
I
at a
think
team that's been this hot. I mean, beating BYU, beating Gonzaga, two strong teams.
Mhm.
I still gotta go Purdue
I
though.
think Purdue's looked too strong lately,
I
especially
gotta go
after that
Purdue.
Big Ten tournament.
I gotta go Purdue.
I'm going
I did not hear a
I,
single
I
word
think he
that
said
you said.
Texas.
I'll assume that Ted said Texas.
Texas,
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Texas.
he said Texas. And honestly, I don't hate that. I think this is a best case scenario for Texas. But I just don't think they're going to be able to stop Oscar Clough and Braden Smith pick and roll.
Yeah. And I forget their other dude. What's his name? Oh, Trey Kaufman Wren.
Yeah, Trey Kaufman, right? Yeah. He's shifty. He's shifty
Mhm.
also.
Let's talk about Texas Tech and or Michigan and Alabama.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be closer now. I mean, Alabama just absolutely bombed Michigan or Texas Tech last night. Holy,
Hmm.
that's
I mean,
by what
Michigan also
25
bombed
points.
St. Louis.
Yeah, I think Michigan.
I think Michigan.
I
I
think
think Michigan.
Michigan, going
I
into
mean, they
the
beat
St.
they
Louis
beat
game,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
going into the St. Louis Michigan game, I totally thought that St. Louis
Was
maybe would
going to
have a
put up
chance at
more
an
of a
upset for that
fight.
first half, but Michigan ended up absolutely blowing them out of the water, and they showcased their ability to beat actually good teams in a high level environment, as the March Madness tournament is. So I think that just builds their case even more to why they can beat Alabama, who's literally missing their number one talent on their team. So I think Michigan rolls here.
W idiot right there, Aiden Holloway.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan has been ranked, number one for like most of the season. They were at the top of, rankings. But now they haven't been there recently, but the game against SLU, I will also have to go Michigan.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close.
I think it will be
Yeah,
a decent game, but I think they're going to pull away the whole second half.
Hmm. I just want to break in right here. This is maybe like, although the first round of the tournament didn't pan out that well as we expected when it comes to upsets, I really like, the shape of this Sweet 16. There's a lot of, underdog picks here with Iowa, Texas, Tennessee, as well as St. John's, who could easily make it to the championship, in my opinion.
St. John's is like they're a seeky, like San Diego State type of team.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. St. John's.
Whatever San Diego is.
I do not trust St. John's. I had them losing round one to UNI, And while it was a stretch, I think I honestly,
Yikes.
them and Houston are my two teams. Like, I'm betting against them every game because I genuinely don't think they have it in them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been on the pod multiple times hating on Houston, and they're getting out this round. They're getting beat
he
by
used to be a Houston Glazer, by the way. Remember when this dude said that they were going all the way this year?
they've just been so up and down. 2 years in a row, had them winning, then they lose early. I'm
You
not
could have had
taking
them
them
3
again.
years
They're
in a row.
losing.
So.
They're losing on whatever it is, Thursday or Friday. They're losing.
I do just want to
Um,
say Duke is not really like I know they just destroyed TCU, but
Yeah,
after
actually,
that
let's
Siena
move into
game,
this. Let's
I'm
move into
not
this.
that high on Duke against
Duke
St.
St.
John.
John's. What do we have here, guys? I really don't know if I like St. John's, who failed to, get a heavy lead on Kansas at the end there. They blew their lead, as a matter of
I
fact.
really don't like
They're-
either team in this matchup, if we're being honest. Like
The
both
thing
teams
that
have not been as good as I thought they were.
the
Mhm.
thing that I'm thinking right now is Duke already proved this tournament that they can make a comeback and that they're determined. And St. John's has also already proved this tournament that, if they get up, they can get comfortable and then they can easily let that slip. I'm going Duke by 20.
I don't know about that. I
Just
just think
because it's March Madness, I don't know if I'm seeing these two top 20 teams, having a 20-point margin at the end of the game. Although I do think Duke is going to win, I don't know if it's going to be by a long shot, but I do have Duke winning. Caden Boozer, as well as Cameron Boozer, I didn't think that duo was going to shape out as well as it has in the tournament. So I really like what Duke is doing right now. I think they're going to make a run, but St.
In
John's
the words
could
of my dad,
easily.
all right. In the words of my dad last night, Cam Boozer is a generational talent. He was looking at the stats. He was like, this guy. And I
Cam Boozer
Well
is
put. Well
I kid
put.
you not. I had the conversation with my dad.
Well, we
Cam
just couldn't
Boozer-
hear like half of what
Yeah,
you
you
said.
just completely cut out that
Wow.
whole time.
Cam
Wait,
Boozer.
are you in a
though-
volcano right now, Ted?
Yeah. Yep.
Cam Boozer, though, when you barely outscore Gavin Doty, that's how I know you're not. Like when free throws are the only reason you outscore Gavin Doty by 2 points, that's embarrassing.
All I've got to add to the conversation is that Cameron Boozer is statistically having a better season than Cooper Flagg did last year. And I think he's not getting enough credit for that. I know I said it a couple episodes
Yeah.
ago. I don't know if Cameron Boozer is as athletically, talented and gifted as Cooper Flagg. I think he's more of a college big man, like archetype. Like he'll do decent in college, maybe average like 8 points a game in the NBA.
I don't
sort of
think he'll
thing.
do that good. His game won't translate to the NBA, but I
Yeah.
will say he's been a good college.
He's a very dominant player, though. It's
I
like a
just think
Kofi
he's-
Coburn, Luka Garza kind of player. Like, college just, average big man who, is going to win some awards, but won't really translate to the NBA too well. But all respect to Cameron Boozer. He's an amazing player. I think he should be, in conversation for that number one pick.
Yeah.
I think that like with Cameron Boozer, he either has to be, 1 or 2 inches taller or just a lot faster than he is to really be able to do well in the NBA. Because like his build, what is he? He's like 6'10", 6'11",
I believe
right?
so.
And he's huge. He's kind of got a similar build to Giannis, but just without the speed. And if Giannis didn't have the speed, he would be like not even half the player that he is.
Yeah.
So that's why I just really don't think that Cameron Boozer is going to pan out as, the upside's there, but I think that the floor is really low, and I think that he's closer to the floor than the ceiling.
6'10" is a really weird height to be in the NBA. And you've seen it with some shorter guys as well as like Isaiah Stewart. He's the enforcer for the Detroit Pistons. That's his role. Is Cameron Boozer, going to have to shape his play into something along the lines of that if he's going to be a bit of an undersized center in the league? Because I think 6'10" nowadays is a little undersized if someone's going to want to play center. But I think they'll put him in
I
power
think they'll
forward
probably
position.
move his position around a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe he could model his game like maybe a little bit more like a Ben Wallace type, and I think that would, maybe fit his body and his,
Mhm.
physical capabilities better.
I know we're talking about college here, but we should probably move on to the next game. What
Yeah.
game do you guys want to talk about next?
I
Let's
think
go
we
to the
stick-
Iowa State game.
I think we stick in the same bracket pool and we talk about UConn, Michigan State.
Oh, I think this could also be one of the best games of the tournament. I
Yeah.
think Jeremy Fears is going to be the deciding factor in this game because Obviously, he's been pretty good this tournament.
Mhm.
Cohen Carr is going
Cohen
to have
Carr.
to do something.
Double
And
double.
I mean,
think
going down the stretch, Jeremy Fears against Louisville absolutely split open their defense and was finding gaps with the passes. And I mean, Cohen Carr's cuts and his ability to move off the ball, he can get to the rim or he can take the jump shot. That's just like exactly what you want from Michigan State. And I picked UConn, and I'll be honest right now, I'm a little nervous about that pick. I had UConn getting all the way to the Final Four, but I'm nervous because the top talent from Michigan of the combo of Jeremy Fears and Cohen Carr, that is legit. And Jeremy Fears is probably the best passer in college basketball, maybe even one of the best passers in college basketball history. So it's gonna be a tight game.
I like the takes. I like, putting
Yeah,
something out there. Although I don't know if I entirely agree with that, I will say that
Damon
Jeremy Fears
Lipsy's a
is
better
putting up a
passer,
great season. He's looking good in March. He's a little bit of a dirty player, but I think that adds personality to his
Hey, if
game.
we're talking about
It,
dirty,
it
let's
runs in
talk
the
about the
family.
Iowa-Florida game last night, getting punches thrown on the ground.
I think we need to focus our attention more on
Dude,
Florida and how
Grant
they're
is so
literally
sour.
tackling Iowa players. But
Grant's just
hey, I
mad
don't want to
for
get off topic. We can
Xavier
talk
Lee.
about
Grant
that
just
later.
bad
But
Xavier Lee
sticking
through a turnover.
sticking with
Hey, that
UConn,
wasn't
Michigan
even
State.
Xavier's Lee fault at the end of the game, bro.
Missed
Like,
a, missed a
Xavier-
wide open layup too, by the way.
Xavier Lee's overrated.
what do you want him
Nobody,
to do at the end of the game when there's five
no,
people
I'm
just
talking about
walking
earlier.
by him?
Nobody in front of him. He just misses a layup.
Yeah, I
Hey,
remember that. Yeah.
That's not NBA. That's not NBA.
But can we?
hey,
I
I
do
never
want to
said
stick to
you-
Michigan State and UConn, please, please.
Michigan State in Michigan State.
I think Michigan State
I
is.
think Michigan State.
Michigan State is the much more athletic and versatile as well as physical team. I don't know. I think they might run UConn, off the floor when it comes to speed, longevity in this game. They're playing 40 minutes of basketball. Who's going to be ready to go out there and compete for that
Longevity.
entire 40 minutes?
I just want to say, after seeing UConn in the Big East getting beat by 20 by St. John's, I just don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off against Michigan State.
Yeah. Moving on, Michigan, Alabama.
We already talked about this.
Talked about this.
Then Iowa State, Tennessee should be our last one then, right?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think we got a couple more maybe, but
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
I've had Tennessee upsetting this whole time, and I'm feeling very happy with that pick. Virginia's a very good 3-point shooting team, and they kind of were able to close down those shots and start to shut them down. Obviously,
Mhm.
first half I think they had like 5 threes, but then they started kind of closing down and shutting down a 3-point shot. And I believe that Tennessee's going to be able to implement similar defensive strategies against Iowa State and really be able to shut them down. I think rebounding is going to be key though. If they can get more rebounds, get more offensive boards, I think that they'll easily take down Iowa State.
That's not happening against Iowa State. I mean, we had our worst performance of the year against Kentucky in the first half, and we were still up. So
What's Joshua Jefferson's status right now? What's going on?
it's looking like he's coming back.
That if he is coming back, I'm pretty highly confident that Iowa State will win this game.
I mean, I don't know how many minutes he'll get because obviously Nate Heisey was pretty good
Performing.
yesterday. So
Yeah. Hitting 3 balls left and right. Nate Heisey is one of those guys where he's stepped up in
hey,
every single
4 tournament
scenario
games
where
in his career, and he's averaging 14 per game. So
yeah, he's stepped
exactly
up
what
in
he
every
needed.
single scenario where Iowa State and Otzelberger had needed him to do so. He's the crucial 3-point shooter on the team to where if you need to get a lead, pass the ball to him,
Hey, how about Taman Lipsy career high yesterday too?
Yeah. And
Big.
first round, it's kind of, fraying away
Killian
from what we're
Torre
talking about right now.
in the first
Killian Torre.
round.
Yeah.
Hey, he's
He's
been
back.
a beast this tournament. He
Yeah.
knows that it's March and he needs to step up. The one thing I am scared for is if Jefferson isn't back, the size matchup with Nadement and Buchanan.
Yeah.
Because
Nate Ament, he is a, top
Buchanan
prospect,
does
first
get
round
into foul
talent.
trouble.
Yeah. You're going to have
But
to lock down that first round talent.
hey, we do have what is it? Dominicus Pleta on our
Yeah.
team.
Plata has stepped up a little bit as well, having to fill in for that Joshua Jefferson, height kind of.
Does help that he was a pro in Germany, so
Hmm. And, we got a couple minutes left, but that was all the games for the Sweet 16. But what are we thinking the final matchup is going to look like in this tournament?
I've said it the whole time, and I still believe in it. I believe it's going to be Illinois, Arizona on top.
Yeah.
Duke, Michigan.
I do like
That,
Duke, Michigan.
that's what I have right now, but I just don't know if it will happen. I think it could honestly be a Houston, Michigan type of run here again.
Hmm.
I honestly think whoever wins between Michigan and Michigan State and UConn is gonna beat Duke.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I have a Duke, Michigan. Although I don't want to see the one seeds go against each other in that final round, I think it just is the most logical option to pick at this point in time because I feel like we've seen the most from those two teams all season, and they've already proved to probably the highest extent so far that they are the team to do so and make it to that final game.
Yeah,
So,
and that first game was very good, so I wouldn't be mad if we get to see another rematch.
yeah, I agree.
And then let's just go around real quick. What's everybody? What are you guys thinking? Like the best game of this round is going to be? I'll start us off. I think it's going to be um the Illinois game against Houston. I think it's going to be electric. I think the top
Yeah,
talent's there, the depth is there. These two teams are so well rounded. I'm really excited to watch that one.
I think that
Even
the best game in this tournament is going to be, it's undoubtedly going to be the Iowa-Nebraska game, dude. This is like the best case scenario for a matchup in the Sweet 16. Iowa hasn't even made the Sweet 16 since the 20th century, and Nebraska has never made the Sweet 16 and didn't win an or didn't win an NCAA tournament game until this year. This is going to be the most electrifying matchup of the
I'm gonna
entire
say
tournament, and I'll say
I'm
that
gonna say
confidently.
that game too, honestly. I think that it's gonna be fun, especially seeing Price against his old team
Hmm. I mean,
in
and
the tournament.
also to add on, Iowa is one win, one loss. Nebraska's one win, one loss in this series against, the two teams, Nebraska, Iowa. This is the tiebreaker, and it's for all the
Yeah.
marbles. So I hope
Hey,
Iowa can
what do
come
we
out on
think
top.
about Peyton
I
Sandfort becoming a Nebraska fan now, though?
That's a little bit of a switch up. I think he already did it when his brother transferred like last year, though.
That's a snake right there.
Yeah.
I think
He's actually getting some minutes in the NBA, I will say. But Ted, what's your game of this tournament?
UConn, Michigan State. I think it's like the most like evenly balanced view. I think like at least for me, that's what I prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, thank you for watching this episode of the Central Sports Podcast. It was a little bit of a shorter one. Actually, it was still probably, 30 minutes. There's always a lot to talk about college basketball, but we appreciate, your support. And thanks for tuning in. And Ted's a cat. So, peace.
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 Yes.